So, trying to get things set up kind of didn't work out in my favor, guys, but that's okay. We will just move things around real fast so I can sit down and begin the show. So, excuse the background, like I said, in the group chat for Things Network. I do not have everything completely set up yet, so that means I don't have okay. That means I don't have my background, like my God bless it. I hate this stupid thing. Okay. Means I don't have everything completely set up yet, so I can't get my actual banner, background, whatever you want to call it, set up. I was trying to set it up to where I was closer to the camera and be able to do it closer, but it's not working out in my favor. I'm so sorry. As most of you know, I'm in the process of moving, and everything that I have, it's not working in my favor. Like I said, everything that everything's packed away. So, but rest assured, I kept all the important stuff out, and I did keep the 2 locations out, so I'm trying to think of what I could use in this room to bring the camera closer. Anyway. Okay, so ignore the background. Like I said, I'm in the process of moving, and things have not been completely set up yet, but I wonder, actually, if I can move. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Maybe. I don't know. I am scatterbrained, through and through scatterbrained, and it's been hard on me and my children trying to move and get things set up in a different way. So, 1 second. Let me move some boxes here so I can bring you guys closer. Let's see how this goes. Ha! That's better-ish, right? Is that okay? Rotate. I am so sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm so scatterbrained and everything else here lately. Alright, so tonight we are doing the John Drish house. There we go. Okay. Whew. Maybe. Oh, I bet it died. I bet it died. It's okay. So we are doing 2 locations tonight. As promised, we are going to do the John Drish house and the Crescent Hotel. But I don't have any other locations for like next week or anything. So if anybody has any ideas, let me know. Please let me know. It's been difficult. John Drish house. Okay, let's get into it, shall we? So the John Drish house, it was built by a man named Dr. John Drish. Um, he was born in 1795, and at the age of 23, he married and started a family. And tragically, within a year, though, after his daughter's birth, he became a widower, and was left to care for the child alone. He sent the infant to live with relatives, and in 1822, John Drish migrated south to the new settlement of to Alabama. And then he met another woman, and he ended up marrying her in 1825. And then Catherine rejoined her father in Alabama while he continued to grow his fortune, not only practicing medicine, but also acting as a building contractor for the growing community. He did own slaves, so about 25 slaves in total. And in 1835, that is when they actually started building the mansion. It became one of the first plantation homes in Toluca. I cannot pronounce it. I'm so sorry for everybody that's in Alabama. And the focal point of 350 acres plantations bordering the city's limits. The house was elaborately designed and decorated in the Greek rival style. So I noticed something back in the day. A lot of different locations that I have done and I've researched over the last few years is everything was either in the Gothic Greek style or just a Greek rival style. The exterior of the home was featured in Doric porticos to the front and rear of the two-story pillars, each dividing each bay. Inside the rooms were elaborately and decorated in an embellished plasterwork and fine woodworking. Each room was designed uniquely. So every room in this house was designed uniquely. And give me 1 second, my cat knocked over the other location. Hey, what are you guys doing? Anyway, Dr. Drish clearly built his home with the idea of using it as a showroom for potential clients to display the abilities and craftsmanship of his slaves. So the whole home was designed by Dr. Drish himself and likely inspired by William Nicholas, a prominent architect of the time known for his stately designs. Drish was considered a gentleman architect, having no formal education in the field, but working with wealthy clients to design properties that were visually pleasing. Drish's background as a building contractor allowed him to further his skills. So it took 2 years to build the home, and once complete, the mansion would be known as the Monroe Place. So it did have another name at the time. It was the Monroe Place. But many claim that the life of the Monroe Place was often filled with sorrows and great family afflictions. John and his daughter Catherine relationship had long been strained, thought to even become violent and abusive at times. One story purports that John did not approve of a man his daughter had fallen in love with, so he locked her in a room at the Monroe Place, providing her with little to no food or water until she finally relented to his wishes to end the relationship. Drish drove the lover from town and forced Catherine to marry William King. They went on to have 3 children of their own, including a daughter who would not live past the age of 4. But their marriage ended abruptly when King divorced Catherine on the grounds of insanity. He then sent his wife, and their two sons back to her father's home and to live with them and stepmother Sarah Owen. And this time, the mansion had already been done for over 10 years, a decade. And Catherine's return would coincide with an extensive remodel of the home, would dabble in the
all the charges against him would be dropped. No, meaning he should take responsibility for his actions, pay his debt to society, and move on.
Going somewhere, Mr. Brunson? This is not...
Sorry, guys. 1 minute here. By this time, the family lived okay, but mostly notable, he added a 3-story brick tower. Many claim that Drish added the structure to allow him to jealously spy over the construction of the home, rival planter Robert Jamison Jr. Unfortunately, it is in this tower that would become not only the site of tragedy, but also the focal point of Drish's house's supposed hauntings. In 1860, John Drish owned about 90 slaves. When emancipation came to Alabama in 1865, he was financially ruined. He gained a reputation in town as an unlucky gambler and alcoholic. In 1867, when he fell to his death in his home, some claim that alcohol was the cause. There are several stories that surround the tragedy of why he had passed away. One says that Drish threw himself from the second-story balcony. Another says that he was merely drunk and fell downstairs. Another, that he had been attempting to quit drinking altogether and lost control from the effects of withdrawals. He was found dead after a mighty fall on July 25th of 1867, leaving his wife Sarah a widow twice over. For years afterward, the servants would claim to hear the echoes of stumbling footsteps and a deathly cry. Sarah ended up dying also. She died 14 years later on April 14th of 1884, whose funeral candles could not be found. Her final wish was not to be met, and as a result, many believe this was the origin of haunting as soon as it began at Drish House. The home has changed several hands over time. It would remain one of Alabama's finest private residence until the turn of the 20th century, when it would find its way into the ruin, and I cannot pronounce that word. The acres surrounding the once great home was sold and used as a site of major first expansion, the farmland giving away urbanization. In 1906, the Toluca Board of Education acquired the building and opened the Jamison School, which remained open until 1925, when the building was sold to the Wrecking Company. So the beginning of the Great Depression, it is often cited as the stock market crash of October 24th of 1929. For those in Toluca, the economy had been falling long before then, and the fortunes of the Drish House were a parallel free fall. So the house would become a church at one point in time until it was considered too bad and it was considered for demolition. But as the building's conditions deteriorated, the legend surrounding it only grew, and these new stories were different to the ones that began after Drish died. Instead of seeing apparitions of the doctor and hearing disembodied sounds of his fall, it was portrayed that Dr. Drish's beloved tower was sometimes seen to be on fire. Accounts of these flames happened repeatedly over the years. Alabama folklorist Catherine Tucker Wyndham and Margaret Gills Fay were among the first to chronicle these claims in their 1969 book, 13 Alabama Ghosts and Jeffrey. They, like many, claim that these, quote, death lights in the tower were ghosts of Sarah Drish, saying, according to tales about her home, it is her frustrated ghost who returns to alarm the neighborhood by burning candles in the tower, candles which she wanted to be burned around her coffin at her death. Other stories have appeared over the years, each claiming a possible origin of the phantom flames in the tower. So pretty much, people have claimed over the years to see what looks like this tower to be on fire. Let's see if I can find my live here so I can share it. Do 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 do. All right, there we go. All right, sorry. According to one legend, a runaway slave once hid in the tower. Eventually, after thirst and starvation took his toll, he was forced to reveal himself and handed over to his master. So he hid in the tower of this home, which is kind of sad. He was burned to death, and some claim that to this day the fire plagues the tower as a reminder of his gruesome execution. Yet, despite the stories and the uncertainty behind the origin of the death lights or the flames in the tower, there has been no evidence found to suggest that there was actually ever a fire in the tower, nor has the tower ever been on fire. But in the end, it was time that saved the Durish house from demolition in 1994. The building had remained standing long enough for historic preservations to take interest and save the home. Although spared demolition in 1994, the Jewish house was still in such despair that in 2006, the Alabama Historical Commission added it to the Places of Peril list. Over the next decade, the home would slowly be stabilized and restored. Today, thanks to Dr. Drish, the gentleman architect, the Drish House is considered to be one of the most distinctive mixes of rival and Italian-style architects found in Alabama. But through the decade and centuries, the stories of death lights in the tower continue. Ethereal funerals still burning and constant reminder of a widow's grief. So it was one of the very first homes ever to be built in Alabama. It was a school, and then, until like I said, and then also it was a church. So who knows exactly what happened, because he had at least 90 slaves at one point in time. So who knows exactly what happened during that time. You know, how many people did he hurt? Because it was said that he did abuse some people in this home, and he used the tower to spy on people. So, you know, some of my locations I have done like the reports and written them up and everything like that. So next is the Crescent Hotel. In 1886, Crescent Hotel and Spa has a rich and fascinating history.
On the hotel's fourth floor, one finds the hotel's historic archives. So it holds historic archives. I would love to see that spot. And they can read about the earliest accounts of the hotel from stories taken from Eureka Springs, Times Echo, as well as view artifacts collected over the years. It has 78 rooms, is not only known as one of America's most distinctive and historic destinations, but also renowned for a bevy of spirits that are still said to walk upon these plated grounds. It is said to have like healing waters, this one has so many different things in it. It's got so much in it. I'm gonna have to like actually read through this one. So the Crescent Hotel, it's been like, it was actually purchased from what I just read. So it was 2 years ago that Powell Clayton and Associates chose the site of the new Crescent Hotel, 27 acres at the north end of West Mountain, a majestic location overlooking the valley. The commissioning of Isaac Taylor as an architect was announced and construction commenced. Seldom has a construction undertaking been accomplished with such efficiency. So it was said that even though people believe it was built in 1886, it was actually the grand opening of the hotel was 1886. But it wasn't until 1973 when the hotel records show an orange tabby named Morris walked into the lobby and stayed for 21 years. Well, that's the cats. Hold on. Sorry. It actually started about 2 decades ago, shortly after Marty and Elise purchased the Grand Old Lady of the Ozarks on May 5th, 1997. On the day of the hotel was not that grand. In fact, the Crescent was in pretty bad shape. I'm going to have to really go through this and go really through this and get everything. Okay, so prior to its opening, it was completed by the ESIC under the direction of General Powell Clayton, costing more than $294,000. The hotel opened as a year-round resort. Isaac Taylor was the architect commissioned to complete the hotel. Stonework specialists from Ireland were brought in to help. 18-inch stones were brought from the ESIC quarry near Beaver and were cut so exact that the walls were fitted without mortar. So there is a lot of history for the Crescent Hotel. I know that. So we will save that one. About half an hour here. I am going to pick the next location, because I'll finish the Crescent Hotel next week. Um, hmm, let's see here. Rolling Hills Asylum. So I am going to be starting doing overseas locations. I'm excited about starting doing those and just trying to see if I can do more. You know what we're going to do? Since it's spooky season, I'm going to do next week the Joshua Ward House. And that is in Salem, Massachusetts. It was actually built in 1784. So we're going to do Joshua Ward House next week. I will have to go and get my the file out and put the rest of these files back. But like I said, I'm going to start with doing overseas locations and everything like that. And I will finish the Crescent Hotel. I will actually work on that throughout this week because there is a lot, and the notes that I have are all over the place. So, but like I said, yes, I have the master list pretty much here with me. So that way, because I have to go to my storage unit tomorrow anyway, so I will go ahead and make sure I get that out for you guys, and I will finish the stuff up. Don't forget that I will be at the event in Peru, Indiana, Para Unity, and in October 19th. I'm super excited about that. I plan on having everything organized so that way it's going to be a lot easier. It's been very stressful on me these last couple of weeks, so I think I'm going to go ahead and end the show tonight. I am so sorry it's not an hour, but next week I promise I will have my stuff together. I honestly thought that when I got home tonight from work that I was going to be able to just hop right into everything. Well, turns out I had to come home to a completely destroyed bedroom because of my kids' dog. And I had to clean it up, and I lost everything. Thanks, Corey. I really appreciate it. But yes, I will finish the Crescent Hotel next week. Like I said, my notes are all over the place, and it's just kind of wacky. This has been a really hard couple weeks. So, but we will do the Joshua Ward House next week also, and that one is in Salem, Massachusetts. So I think I'm gonna go through my master list of everything and get all of like my Salem, Massachusetts locations together, so that way, since it's spooky season, guys, we got to do spooky like Salem witch trials and everything like that. I know the Joshua Ward House was part of that area. Yeah. It was actually used, from what I remember, it was used in the actual trials themselves, and the house, from what I looked up and seen, because it's one of my locations that I just researched, it's all black. Now, it could be that it changed. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm super excited. I'm going to go and get, like I said, all of my spooky during that timeline locations ready, and just try to be able to get more organized. But like I said, I'm so sorry. I came home to a completely destroyed bedroom because of the puppy being out and about, and yeah, I got to get this place more organized, and I'm gonna hopefully have my desk actually set up next week so I can just be at my actual desk instead of propping my phone up somewhere. So, but I'm going to end it here. I will talk to you guys next week. And don't forget, tomorrow night, I will be going live over on TT to do the locations. I'm probably going to do the same thing I'm doing tonight. Go over the Drish house, and then all right. Thanks, Corey. Thank you for coming on, and you're all good. Trust me, I understand. So, but I am going to end it here, and I promise next week I will be on for the full hour from 8:30 to 9:30. But tomorrow on TT, I will be on live over there at 8:30 p.m. So, bye, guys.